Hi, I'm Ronald, and I never thought I'd have to protect my wife from my own son-in-law. But when you witness cruelty disguised as humor, you don't look away, you take action. It started at Sunday dinner. My wife Margaret had just gotten her hearing aid 3 weeks earlier, and she was still adjusting to it. We were all sitting around the table when my son-in-law Derek turned to his buddy, who'd joined us, and spoke in an exaggerated loud voice. "Margaret, can you hear me?" Derek shouted, cupping his hands around his mouth. "Do I need to speak louder?" His friend Travis laughed. Margaret's face went red. "Derek, that's not funny," I said firmly. "Oh, come on, Ronald," Derek replied, waving me off. "I'm just joking around, right, Margaret? You know I'm kidding." Margaret forced a smile. "It's fine." "See?" Derek said. "She gets it, unlike some people who can't take a joke." My daughter Emily, Derek's wife, sat there scrolling through her phone. I looked at her, waiting for her to say something. "Emily?" I prompted. She glanced up. "What?" "Your husband just mocked your mother." Emily sighed. "Dad, it was just a joke. Mom said it's fine. Can we not make everything a big deal?" "It is a big deal when—" "Dad, seriously," Emily interrupted. "You're being too sensitive. Derek didn't mean anything by it." The next incident happened 2 weeks later. We were at Emily and Derek's house for a barbecue. Margaret was talking to Emily about a book she'd read, and Derek walked past, pretending to adjust an invisible hearing aid while making feedback noises. "Ee! Ee!" he screeched. "Oops, my bad. My hearing aid is acting up." Travis, who seemed to be Derek's constant companion, cracked up. "Dude, that's hilarious!" "Derek!" I stood up from my chair. "That's enough." "Jesus, Ronald," Derek said, rolling his eyes. "Lighten up. It's called humor. Maybe you should try it sometime." "Making fun of someone's disability isn't humor," I said. "Disability? It's a hearing aid, not a wheelchair. Margaret can still hear fine, right, Margaret?" Margaret wouldn't look at me. "I'm okay, Ronald." "See?" Derek spread his arms wide. "She's okay. Emily, your dad is being dramatic again." Emily appeared from the kitchen. "What's going on?" "Your father is upset because I made a tiny joke," Derek said. "Dad, can you please not start drama at every family event?" Emily asked. "Derek loves Mom. He's just teasing." "Teasing?" I felt my blood pressure rising. "This is the third time he's—" "Dad!" Emily's voice was sharp. "Enough! You're embarrassing yourself." I looked at Margaret. She shook her head slightly, a silent plea to let it go. But I couldn't let it go. The final straw came 3 days later. Emily called me. "Dad, Derek wanted me to ask you something," she said. "What?" "He wants to know if Mom needs one of those devices that flashes lights when the doorbell rings, since she probably can't hear it anymore." I gripped the phone tighter. "He wants to know, or you want to know?" "Derek thought it would be helpful," Emily said defensively. "He's trying to be considerate." "Considerate? Emily, your husband has mocked your mother 3 times in 2 weeks, and now he's sending messages through you instead of calling himself?" "Oh my God, Dad, you're being paranoid. Derek is family. He cares about you guys." "If he cares, why does he keep—" "I'm hanging up now," Emily said. "Call me when you can be rational." The line went dead. I sat there staring at my phone. Margaret came into the room. "Let it go, Ronald," she said quietly. "Please." "Why?" I asked. "Why should I let him treat you this way?" "Because Emily is our daughter," Margaret said, tears forming. "I don't want to lose her over this." That's when I realized something was very wrong. This wasn't just about jokes. Derek was testing boundaries, and Emily was allowing it. I needed to find out why. The next morning, I called my brother-in-law Marcus, who's a family lawyer. "Marcus, I need advice," I said, "and maybe your services." "What's going on, Ronald?" Marcus asked. I explained everything: Derek's mockery, Emily's dismissiveness, the pattern I was seeing. "That's concerning," Marcus said, "especially if Emily is defending behavior she normally wouldn't tolerate. Has anything else changed with them lately?" "Not that I know of," I said, "but Margaret and I aren't invited over as much anymore." "That's isolation," Marcus said grimly. "Classic control tactic. Look, I have a friend, Patricia, who's an investigator. She specializes in family matters. Would you be comfortable if I brought her in? Do it, I said. Patricia called me that afternoon. Mr. Ronald, Marcus filled me in. I'm going to need you to document everything. Every interaction, every comment, every time Emily makes excuses. Can you do that? Absolutely, I said. Good. And I'm going to do some background checking on Derek. Sometimes these patterns point to bigger issues. Over the next 2 weeks, I documented everything in a journal. Meanwhile, Patricia dug into Derek's background. She called me on a Tuesday. Ronald, we need to meet. In person. Bring Marcus. The three of us met at a coffee shop the next day. Patricia slid a folder across the table. Derek has a history, she said. He's been married before. Twice. Both times he isolated his wives from their families before filing for divorce and taking significant assets. My stomach dropped. What? His first wife's parents tried to intervene, Patricia continued. He convinced his wife they were toxic and controlling. By the time she realized what was happening, he'd transferred their joint assets to offshore accounts. Marcus leaned forward. And the second wife? Similar pattern. He got her to cut ties with her family, convinced her to sign over power of attorney during what he claimed was a medical emergency, then cleaned out their accounts. Emily has money, I said slowly. Her grandmother left her a trust fund. It becomes fully accessible when she turns 35. Which is? Patricia asked. 6 months from now, I said. Oh, God, that's what this is about. He's isolating her from us so we can't warn her. Marcus pulled out his phone. We need to talk to Emily. Today. I shook my head. She won't listen to me. She thinks I'm being dramatic. Then we need evidence she can't dismiss, Patricia said. I have the divorce records, financial documents, testimony from his ex-wives' families, but we need to catch him in the act of something. Like what? I asked. Does he have access to any of your financial information? Patricia asked. I thought about it. Last year, Emily asked to be added as a joint owner on one of our savings accounts. She said it was in case of emergencies. We added her, and I assume Derek has access through her. Patricia's eyes widened. Check that account, now. I pulled up my banking app. The account that had held $47,000 now showed $3,200. It's gone, I whispered. Almost all of it. Marcus looked at Patricia. That's theft. That's our evidence, Patricia said. Make copies of everything. We're going to need to move fast. That evening, I showed Margaret the bank statement. Oh, Ronald, she breathed. Emily wouldn't. Emily didn't know, I said. Derek did this, and we're going to stop him before he destroys our daughter's life. Margaret straightened her shoulders. What do we do? We fight back, I said. The right way. Over the next week, Marcus filed a police report for the theft. Patricia gathered all her evidence. We prepared for a confrontation, but we needed Emily present, and we needed her to hear the truth from someone other than me. Marcus suggested we arrange a family meeting with a mediator present, someone Emily would trust. We chose Dr. Helen Santos, a family therapist Emily had seen years ago during college. Dr. Santos remembers Emily fondly, Marcus said after making the call. She's willing to facilitate this meeting at her office. She'll present the evidence objectively. Will Emily come? Margaret asked. I'll tell her it's about estate planning, Marcus said. That way Derek won't be suspicious, and Emily will think it's routine family business. The meeting was set for Friday at 2 p.m. Emily arrived at Dr. Santos's office looking confused. Dad? Mom? What's this about? Sit down, Emily, Dr. Santos said gently. Your parents have concerns they need to share. Is this about Derek again? Emily groaned. Patricia stepped forward. Emily, I'm a private investigator. I've been looking into Derek's background. You investigated my husband? Emily's voice rose. Let her finish, Dr. Santos said firmly. Patricia slid documents across the table. Derek has been married twice before. Both marriages ended with him stealing his wives' assets after isolating them from their families. That's ridiculous, Emily said, but her hands trembled. Derek was married once. Twice, Patricia said. Here are the divorce records. Here are statements from both families. The pattern is identical. Mock family members, create distance, gain access to finances, then disappear with the money. Emily stared at the documents. No, Derek wouldn't. Check your parents' savings account, Marcus said quietly. The one you're listed on. I slid my phone across, showing the bank statement. We had $47,000. Now there's $3,000. Emily's face went white. I didn't do this. We know, Margaret said. But Derek has access through your account. He asked for my password, Emily whispered. Said he needed to transfer money between accounts. Just for one day. That was 6 weeks ago, Patricia said. Right when he started mocking your mother. He was creating conflict, Dr. Santos explained, making you choose between him and your parents. Your trust fund becomes accessible in 6 months, Marcus added. Derek's previous divorces were filed within months of his wives turning 35. Emily buried her face in her hands. Oh, God. Travis kept asking about my grandmother's trust. Travis is Derek's partner, Patricia said. He helped with the asset transfers before. We filed a police report, Marcus said. Detective Ramirez wants to talk to you. What do I do? Emily looked at me, tears streaming. You come home, I said. Pack your essentials. Today. I can't just leave. Yes, you can, Margaret said firmly. We're not losing you to this man. Emily nodded. Okay. I'm coming with you to document everything, Patricia said. We need to secure your accounts before Derek knows what's happening. Marcus stood. I'm filing for an emergency restraining order. Emily, you'll sign an affidavit about the theft and harassment. Detective Ramirez will meet us at your house. This is really happening, Emily whispered. And we're making sure Derek faces every consequence, I said. The confrontation happened 3 days later at a family meeting arranged by Detective Ramirez. Derek thought he was coming to discuss Emily's temporary breakdown. Instead, he walked into a conference room with me, Margaret, Emily, Marcus, Patricia, Detective Ramirez, and a prosecutor named Sarah Chen. What is this? Derek demanded, looking at Emily. Baby, what's going on? Sit down, Mr. Derek, Detective Ramirez said. We have some questions. I want my lawyer, Derek said immediately. That's your right, Sarah Chen said. But you should know we have enough evidence to arrest you today. Whether you cooperate now might affect the charges we file. Derek's confident smirk faded. Arrest me? For what? Theft, fraud, financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult, and harassment, Sarah listed. We have bank records showing you transferred $43,000 from Ronald and Margaret's account. We have testimony from your 2 ex-wives about identical patterns of behavior. And we have recordings. Recordings? Derek's voice cracked. Patricia pressed play on her phone. Derek's voice filled the room. Yeah, Travis, the old lady with the hearing aid is the key. Make fun of her enough, and Emily will distance herself from them. Then, when the trust fund hits, we're golden. Same playbook as before. Derek's face drained of color. Where did you... That was a private conversation. In a public restaurant, Patricia said. No expectation of privacy. I was 2 tables away. Emily spoke for the first time. You used my mother. You mocked her disability as part of a plan to steal from me? Baby, no, you're misunderstanding. Derek reached for her. Don't touch me, Emily said, her voice hard. Don't ever touch me again. Mr. Derek, Detective Ramirez said, your pattern is clear. 2 ex-wives, same tactics, same results. Isolation, mockery of family members, financial theft. You preyed on women with family money, turned them against their loved ones, and robbed them blind. This is insane, Derek said. Emily, tell them this is crazy. You know me. You love me. I loved who I thought you were, Emily said quietly. But that person doesn't exist, does he? Marcus slid documents across the table. Emily is filing for divorce. She's also pressing charges for the theft from her parents. You're going to face justice for what you've done. You can't prove I took that money, Derek shouted. Actually, we can, Sarah Chen said. The transfers came from Emily's login, but the IP address traces to your workplace computer. You made the transfers during business hours, probably thinking you were being clever. Patricia added, plus, Travis rolled on you yesterday. When we showed him recordings of your conversations and explained he was facing charges as an accomplice, he gave us everything. Bank accounts in the Cayman Islands, the whole operation. Derek slumped in his chair. Travis wouldn't. He did, Detective Ramirez confirmed. He gave us access to communications showing you've been planning this for 18 months. You targeted Emily specifically because of her trust fund. You researched her family, learned about Margaret's hearing loss, and created a strategy to exploit it. My wife's hearing aid, I said, my voice shaking with anger. You mocked my wife, called her disabled, made her feel small, as part of a con? Derek wouldn't look at me. Answer him, Emily demanded. Look at my father and answer him. Derek clients finally met my eyes. It was just business. Business? Margaret spoke up, her voice strong despite her tears. Making fun of my hearing aid was business? I'm sorry, Derek said. I really am. If you drop the charges, I'll pay back every penny. I'll disappear. You'll never see me again. No, I said flatly. Ronald, please. No, I repeated. You don't get to apologize your way out of this. You don't get redemption. You hurt my wife, manipulated my daughter, and stole from my family. You're going to prison. Emily, Derek tried again. Baby, please. I love you. I made mistakes, but we can work through this. Emily stood up. You're going to hear this clearly, Derek, so I'll speak slowly. We're done. Forever. I'm divorcing you, pressing charges, and making sure everyone knows exactly what you are. You're a con artist, a thief, and an abuser. Sarah Chen opened her briefcase. Mr. Derek, you have 2 options. Plead guilty to theft, fraud, and harassment, accept a 15-year sentence and full restitution to the victims, or go to trial, where we'll add charges for your previous wives and you'll face 40 years minimum. Derek's lawyer, who had arrived 10 minutes earlier, whispered in his ear. Derek's shoulders sagged. I'll take the deal, he whispered. Smart choice, Detective Ramirez said, standing. Mr. Derek, you're under arrest. As the detective handcuffed Derek, Emily squeezed my hand. Dad, I'm so sorry. I should have listened. You're listening now, I said, pulling her into a hug. That's what matters. Marcus smiled. The accounts are frozen, restitution is guaranteed, and Emily's trust fund is secure. Derek won't see a penny. What about his other victims? Margaret asked. They're filing charges too, Sarah Chen said. Derek's going away for a very long time. As they led Derek out, he looked back at Emily. I really did love you. No, Emily said. You loved my money. You never loved me. The door closed behind him. Emily turned to Margaret. Mom, I'm so sorry he hurt you. I should have protected you. Margaret hugged her. You're protecting me now. That's all that matters. 3 months later, Derek pleaded guilty and received 18 years. Travis got 12. The money was fully repaid. Emily moved back home temporarily, healing and rebuilding. At Sunday dinner, now a weekly tradition again, Margaret adjusted her hearing aid and smiled. "You know what's funny?" she said. "Derek tried to use this against us, but it ended up being the thing that exposed him." "Karma," Emily said, raising her glass. "Justice," I corrected, clinking my glass against hers. Have you ever had someone try to drive a wedge between you and your family? What would you have done in my situation? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.